It was a social media post that listed several schools across Colorado as potential targets, and that triggered responses from local authorities and school districts. Thanks for joining us for 9 News at 5. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Kim Christensen. So far, no evidence there was any merit to the threats to schools around Colorado today, but we do know it disrupted class for hundreds of students.
Police evacuated Englewood High School and Middle School due to an online threat. Those students were bused to other schools to continue their school day. Crews then did not find any explosive devices on campus. Similar threats were made against Denver East and Denver West, as well as schools in Eagle County, Lake County, and parts of Texas, and none of the threats turned up credible. The source of the threat, that's now under investigation. Calling in a false threat to a school is a federal crime.
The first of 8 victims in the 2021 Boulder King Soopers shooting died within 70 seconds. That was one of the details shared with the jury in the shooter's trial. That shooter has pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity.
Today we saw day 3 of testimony in a trial that is expected to last several weeks. Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates is live with us from Boulder. Kevin, obviously a very difficult day to hear the testimony for families with victims.
Tom and Kim, it was for everybody in the courtroom, and that's because prosecutors played portions of the extensive surveillance video that exists in this case, including images that showed the hunter chasing down and shooting some of his victims. To obtain a conviction, prosecutors have to prove to the jury that Ahmad Alissa was sane the day of the attack. In other words, that he knew the difference between right and wrong and that he acted with intent. To that end, District Attorney Michael Doherty used video of some of the murders. Video that he has asserted showed the man killing those he intended to kill.
How did it appear that the victims were killed? In other words, any common factors between the victims?
Most of them were in his line of sight. They were trying to get away. He pursued them and shot them until they stopped moving.
Some family members have watched court proceedings from inside the courtroom and are actually seeing some of these images that are being displayed on the screens in there. Other families have chosen to watch in an overflow room where they can see and hear the testimony from the witness stand, but they've chosen not to watch this video and photographic evidence that they've begun to show. The trial's expected to last about 3 more weeks. Live in Boulder, I'm Kevin Vaughn, 9 News.
And Kevin, they knew this was coming, but there's no way you can prepare yourself for seeing this kind of thing.
I talked to a couple of family members afterward. One of them used the word brutal to describe what it was like to watch a loved one be murdered. And a couple of them also told me that they had not seen this video before, so it was also jarring in that way. Even though they knew that it was going to be bad, they weren't totally prepared for what it was going to show.
Yeah, no way. And the jury seeing that, difficult all the way around. Thank you, Kevin.
James Earl Jones, the movie star, known by many as the voice of Darth Vader, has died. Many also remember him as the voice of Mufasa in The Lion King. It was that baritone voice that helped to make so many of his famous scenes iconic, like in Field of Dreams. Jones was also a legend on Broadway. He starred in more than 80 movies, including Coming to America. James Earl Jones was 93 years old.
Within the last couple of hours, the city of Aurora swore in a new police chief. Todd Chamberlain spent most of his career in Los Angeles and most recently served as chief for the LA Unified School District. Chamberlain is the 6th person to serve as Aurora's police chief since 2019. His nomination was met with criticism, and his swearing in was met with protest today, since there was no community involvement, no community meetings held to discuss the job before Chamberlain was hired.
This entire process has been dismissive of community. There's been no community voice, no community involvement in the selection of Todd Chamberlain. So we came out to ensure that Todd Chamberlain understands that the community is missing at the table.
Chamberlain took the time to meet with those protesters briefly after being sworn in today. He told protesters to get to know him before they make any final judgment.
CPW has told us that a male wolf died in its custody after it was captured last week. It was one of 6 wolves captured in Grand County for relocation after livestock was killed. CPW says 4 wolf pups and their mother were also captured. 3 of those pups were caught on camera by a 9 News viewer last month. CPW won't say where the wolves currently are, but the director says he plans to re-release the pups into the wild this winter. He has not explained the plan for their mom. In Grand County, wolves have killed 16 cows and sheep since April. The pups were not involved. The director explains why they chose to capture those wolves now.
This is truly a perfect storm. This is a very, very unique situation right out of the gate. And so I think it demanded a unique response.
CPW Director Jeff Davis says what they're doing now with this pack will not set a precedent for the future.
Kyle Scott has been identified as the pilot killed in a plane crash last Thursday. The crash happened near Brush, about 90 miles northeast of Denver. Scott was well known in the aviation community and owned 2 companies, one of which specializes in firefighting aircraft. In a tribute on social media, the Morgan County Sheriff said, quote, "We lost a good guy." Kyle Scott was 52 years old.
Former Vice President Mike Pence will visit Colorado later this year at an event on the campus of Colorado Christian University. This won't be a campaign event because Pence's visit is scheduled for November 15th, about a week and a half after the presidential election. Meanwhile, the current Vice President, Kamala Harris, and former President Donald Trump are getting ready for their first presidential debate, set for tomorrow night. That will air right here on 9 News at 7 o'clock with special coverage beginning at 6.
Advisors for Trump say that the former president is planning to, quote, be himself on the debate stage. Trump's allies have begun referring to the Biden administration as the Harris-Biden administration, an effort to tie the VP to Biden's policies, particularly on the economy. Harris told reporters this weekend that she is ready for debate night. This may be her moment to establish herself to a wider audience. In a weekend poll, a quarter of the country said they are hoping to learn more about Harris from her performance on the debate stage.
The state of Colorado wants to give someone $500,000 because one mystery person did buy a winning Powerball ticket back in March at a King Soopers in Arvada, but they have not come forward to claim that prize. Well, they won't be able to claim it at all if they don't come forward by next Thursday. That's the deadline. You have to be in actual possession of the winning ticket to cash in, so if it got lost in the laundry, whoever had it was out of luck. The lottery donates any unclaimed prize money back to state parks, recreation, and related projects.
Giving you a live look outside right now. The weather has been calm in most places. We've seen a few storms, though, pop up here and there. Kathy Sabin tracking it for us tonight. Kathy, I guess a few storms that cool us off a little.
Oh, and we need it, Kim. 91 degrees in Denver today. And with those clouds coming in, also, we're seeing lightning and wind. And with the heat, the warmth, and the lack of humidity, fire danger a prime concern. Temperatures, even with the cloud cover, still very warm. 87 in Denver, 96 in Lamar. And we're tracking these gusty foothill thunderstorms. I don't know that they're going to make it into the metro area, but there's a change in the weather pattern that will allow for a better chance of showers and also a cooler weather trend. That comes in on Wednesday. These storms are moving from west to east, have got a bit of lightning with them and wind, stray shower over Jefferson County and northern Douglas County. But will we see rain in Denver tonight? We'll have another check of the radar and your extended forecast in detail coming up.